yours is working in 3 seconds. I hope it's really not taking a picture. Okay, it is. All right. Good afternoon, class. We are back in government learning about awesomeness. And today we're going to talk about the Electoral College, all right? Now, you all are old enough to vote. You probably know somewhat how it works. But we're going to go in a little depth in each area to see how things could work. In your hands right now, you all have a short paragraph to get an idea of what happens right now in our electoral process for becoming president. So if you all would take a minute to read that, just look at us when you're ready, and we'll continue after that. All right, so you all got an idea of how our election process works right now. We're going to dig a little deeper where Kaylee will take over and show you how Electoral College came to be. Kaylee?
Okay, so this is going to be a really short little overview of what the Electoral College is. But this is Al Gore and George Bush, and they came into some problems in the 2000 election when Al Gore actually won the entire popular vote. But George Bush ended up being president, and people always ask how did that happen, so that's what we're going to look at. So, it's the Electoral College is rooted in the Constitution. So basically what all this fancy letter says in Article 2, Section 1 is that each state has to have a number of electors that represents the senators and the representatives for that district, or for that state. So each state has a different number of electors, and that makes up the total number of the Electoral College. It also says that no senator or representative or person holding an office that's getting paid under the United States can be an elector. So basically, an elector can't be somebody that's already paid by the government.
So it's just a regular citizen that you guys could even become an elector if you wanted to. It just can't be part of the government, okay?
Okay, so there are 538 total votes. Do you guys know how they came about that number? Okay.
Number of people in the House of Representatives and Senate.
Very good. So,
Good job,
Congress.
Travis.
yeah. Okay, so how many are in the Senate?
100.
And how many are in the House of Representatives?
438.
435. Because the DC has 3. DC doesn't have any local government, so you got 435 plus 100 plus 3.
Good job, Brandon.
So yeah, the majority to win is 270, and then if there's a tie in an election, tie goes to the House of Representatives. Okay, so this is the 2012 election results. Looking at this, who do you think would have won? Without knowing who would have won, just looking at this.
Red.
Red or
Red's
blue?
got a big state. Red's got all the big states, but blue looks like it's got all the little states.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
all right.
red has big states. So when you look at it, but these big states, he's only getting 33 versus Obama, who's getting California, which has 55, Illinois has 20, New York has 29, Pennsylvania has 20. These are based on population and the number of congressional districts. So states that have more population have more electoral votes. And it's done every year. The census is taken, so every 10 years. These number of electors change. So, for example, Indiana used to be 12. Now we're 11. We've gone down, unfortunately. A little salty about it, but and then there's also this thing called swing states. So in Florida and in Ohio, there are these are swing states because they're not either red or blue, meaning that they're not always Republican or Democrat. Like Indiana is a red state. Most of the time we vote Republican, versus California, who's almost always a blue state. These swing states are important to candidates because they have the opportunity to win elections in those states.
Yeah, they can be the deciding factor when it comes down to the last state.
Like with Al Gore and George Bush in Florida. Okay, so basically, again, to reiterate, and what you guys read too, when the election happens, the person who wins the popular vote in that state wins all of its electoral college votes, no matter if it's super close or not. So in the example is like if you had 1 million, Romney had 1 million, Obama had 999,000. Just because Romney had one more means he gets all of those electoral college votes.
Yep.
Even though over half the people in that state are going to be really upset that their vote technically didn't really matter. So back to the electors, how they selected. Every June before the November election, so elections happen in November. So this coming June 2016, there'll be party conventions. So one party convention for Republicans, one for the Democrats, and they'll select electors. And they select those people based on loyalty, basically. So they select them knowing that they're going to vote with the party. So Republicans will select 11, Democrats will select 11. And then information on electors is really hard to find. They keep themselves confidential because they don't want somebody to come after them. Basically, if they
influence them or something like that.
Exactly. So this is the representation. So the reason that this came about is because the founding fathers were like, okay, we'll do democracy, we'll let people have a vote, but they didn't actually trust the public to make the right decisions. So that's where the Electoral College came into place. So they wanted to give, America's based on democracy, and we're all about giving people a voice, but in reality, it's not necessarily, it's giving 11 people to be in for a voice versus the hundreds of thousands of people that we have here. So that's something that we're going to look at and just decide and talk about which kind of reforms we think are the best. Some of the reforms that we're going to look at are straight popular vote, district elections, and then proportional vote. And then there are others who are very much in favor of the Electoral College and how it is now, but we're going to have you guys decide what you guys think is the best option.